Welcome back to the table. Today we are going to have a round one for Trekking Through History. This is the latest game from Underdog Games in their Trekking series, but like their other games, this one plays very, very different. I'm here with my wife, Elisha.
That's me.
And we are going to be Trekking Through History, which is a card drafting sort of set collection game where we're going to be taking cards throughout all of history, as you might have guessed, and storing them in treks in front of us, one trek at a time. And we want to make those as long as we can to get points. And of course, as you might have concluded, we have to put those in order. So from the furthest back date to the earliest or the most recent date. Now, some of the cards are going to be BCE, which is before Common Era or Current Era. Those are going to be, like for instance, this one right here, 2000. That's way back there. If we see another one, 41 BCE, in case you didn't know this, that's closer to sort of that midpoint, and then it gets into the sort of positive numbers, if you will. And there's going to be 3 days. We're going to be playing this over the course of 3 days. On camera here, we're going to be playing just the first day, and then we'll play the day 2 and day 3 off camera and come back and tell you about the entire experience. But just to give you an idea, a little bit more of what we're going to be doing here, here is the display that we're going to be selecting cards from, including the top card of the deck. And on your turn, you're going to be simply choosing one of those cards, and then moving your pocket watch on the clock board here a number of spaces equal to this value here in the lower left of the card. Now, you can use time crystals to sort of prevent that from moving too far. So for instance, if it was going to move forward 3 and I used 1, it would only move forward 2. And as you might have guessed, this is one of those games that whoever's furthest behind is going to keep going until they're not. So if I moved forward 4, and Elisha moved 1, took a card, moved another 2, took a card, moved another 1, took a card, it would still be her turn. So you can kind of like draw things out to collect as many cards as you want. Now, why are you collecting cards? Well, there's benefits across the bottoms of the cards that we're going to be using to sort of fill out these itinerary boards. We have just one itinerary each in front of us. We're going to be filling that out throughout the day. We have 4 total, so we're going to get another one from our collection for day 2 and then another one for day 3. This is one way to score your points. As you can see on some of these, you're going to be able to trigger and unlock points as you fill this out. And that's going to sort of be at odds with filling out those treks as best as you can, because those are going to be potentially very big endgame scoring.
Right.
So, without further ado, because we'll tell you a little bit more about the game as we play, we're going to get right to it. And off camera, we decided who was going to be player 1.
I don't know, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
it's going to be you.
It's going to be me.
It's going to be you. And we're going to sort of give you some of the flavor for some of these cards, but not all of them. That's really kind of cool because the back of the cards has actually a little bit more information, historical information about what the card is about. The cards are beautiful, as you'll see, and it's kind of, you know, a semi-educational aspect to the game.
Yeah.
So you're going to choose a card,
Yeah.
move your pocket watch, collect the benefits of the card, and then place the card in your trek, and then finally refill, slide things down and refill. Now, one thing I do want to mention, when you place a card in your trek, it has to be higher. You know, it has to be more current, if you will, in time. If it is not, you have to then collapse your current trek and turn it face down beside you. That trek is done, and
Right.
start a new one.
Right.
So the longer the trek, the better.
And this is how they score.
Yeah, you're going to get, if you only have a trek of 1, which you don't want to do, it's negative 3 points at the end of the game. But if you're able to continue your trek all the way to 10 cards or more, it's going to be 30 points, which is pretty significant in this game. So, take it away, Elisha.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the oldest one so that I get a good long trek potentially going. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one here. And it is Take a Dip in the Great Bath. It's 2000 BCE. And so it says, time to cool off in the Indus Valley. The Great Bath is considered the oldest public pool, but archaeologists are still researching its actual purpose. The people of Mohenjo-Daro designed drainage features in the Great Bath and around the city, showcasing city planning skills and an advanced civilization.
So as interesting as that is, the more interesting thing to the game right now is that it's going to move your pocket watch.
So yeah, it's going to
How
move
many?
my pocket watch 2, potentially 1 if I want to go ahead and spend a time crystal, but I'm also going to get this benefit token, which is a blue one, and because I picked it up from this spot, I'm also going to get a red benefit token.
So how many spaces do you want to move it? The full 2, or do you want to spend the time crystal right now?
I think I want to just go ahead and move the 2.
1, 2.
I'm going to go ahead and place my bit here. I'm going to go ahead and collect my tokens, which is a blue and a red.
So when you collect these experience tokens, that's what you're going to put on your itinerary.
Right, and so on my itinerary, we both have these 4 color columns. We have different itineraries, if you hadn't noticed, and it's got here sort of the top scoring up there of this is what mine's potential is, and this is what David's potential is. But you can't mix and match these. Red has to go with red, and blue has to go with blue, so that's what I've got to do.
There is a wild that you'll see that we'll potentially get. Those can be placed on any of them.
Right.
The other rule here is they have to be placed on the top openmost spot on each column. So you're working your way down to unlock some of these points down at the bottom of the itinerary. So the next thing we do is refill the...
Yep. Place the card on the trek. And...
Yeah, that was your trek, and now that was refilling. So now we've uncovered another card.
Now it's David's turn.
Now it's my turn. And I think I'm going to do a similar thing, but this card, the BCE card that's left right here,
it's 4 whole space.
4 movements, but it gets me 2 crystals.
2 time crystals.
So there's ways of getting more time crystals. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to take this 41 BCE. This is Admire Cleopatra's Dramatic Flair. I'll read this one too, but I promise this is the last one we're going to read to you on camera. We're just going to get through this first day. So it says, do you smell luxury in the air? I think I do. Cleopatra knew she needed to make a big impression on Mark Antony, one of Egypt's rulers. So she doused the sails of her boat with expensive perfume and sailed up to meet the waiting Antony. Did you know that? That's interesting.
Pheromones.
You learn something every day. Overcome by the scent wafting in the breeze, Mark Antony followed his senses towards the Egyptian queen, igniting their powerful love story.
That's how I got you, baby.
That is something I didn't know. That is also something I didn't know. So I took the card, and now I'm going to move. So I'm actually going to use my time crystal. So it would normally move 4, but it's only going to move 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, hopefully getting my next turn to happen a little sooner. And then I'm going to take my benefits. I get a green from that space, and a red, and then 2 time crystals.
That's juicy.
So red's something I need because I got a big tall column of red.
You do.
And the green is actually way
too
down.
shabby.
All the rest of them are actually way down here.
Yeah, mine I've got some work ahead of me.
Yeah, the itineraries are interesting because every one we're going to get is very different. Those little spots are spaced out in different ways. So there's some that you can score big points if you get down to the bottom, but maybe you only have to do it on a couple of the colors. You're going to definitely want to take that into consideration when you're looking at the cards that are on display for the following day. So that's in my trek, and now we move all of these down.
Shift. And there.
And now it's your turn. And now we're going to be jumping.
I'm going to be jumping
ahead
a
quite a bit.
huge amount of
Quite
time.
a bit.
Well, shoot. Let's see. What do I need? I am going to, why wouldn't I choose some of the older ones? This one's only a 1 though, which is not bad, but it's also
definitely not an
oldest
older
on the
one.
list. Yeah. It's the most current on the list, which is not great. And I've got
And even if you find yourself in a pinch, if you can't take one of these dates, you can always take one of these cards here. That is a
Ancestor.
Ancestor card. You're visiting your ancestors. It's wild in a couple different ways. One, it's wild as it relates to putting it in your trek. So you can add that to your current trek, and it still keeps your trek alive, if you will. And it counts as the date previous to it. So it can kind of delay your turn, and hopefully another card will come out so that you can keep that trek going. Plus,
it adds to your count.
Yeah, it adds to your count, and you get a wild benefit from it. So that you only get 1 benefit, but you get a purple that you can put anywhere.
I see.
You don't need to do that now. I was just saying.
No.
You could find yourself in a sticky situation if you take this 1809.
Shoot. I don't want to do that, though.
Yeah, it's not. It's a
great.
1, but it's not great on the benefit front either. As you could imagine, the ones with the juicier benefits are going to move things ahead a little bit more.
Yeah, but this one, it's a 3. And
yeah, that's not bad.
1 little blue, please. I will go ahead and take it regardless. This one is Carve Intricate Reliefs at Angkor Wat.
1150. So that's illegally goes into her trek.
Yep.
And she's gonna move. Are you gonna move it 3 or 2?
I'm gonna go ahead and move it 2. I will spend
1,
a crystal
2.
to do that. I get a red and a blue for it. And I will.
Well, you're away and running on the red and the blue.
I mean, it is what it is.
You need the yellow.
I do.
So you can unlock. So you can see on her sheet here, if she gets the yellow all the way down here and the blue and the red as well, it's going to unlock 13 points, which is sort of the meat of the points on her card. I have to get way down here for these 10.
Yeah, but you've got a little stop
Yeah,
off
that's
right
true.
here
That's
if you
true.
only get that far. It's expensive regardless. Really?
Oh, yeah, I can't take it either, though. You could have. So 500 BCE came up, which you could have taken, but you can't now.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to take it. This was the one that was on the top.
No, I know. But if it had been up, you would have legally been able to take it.
Sure.
I could not. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one.
I mean, why not?
It's going to move me. So I took 1271, travel the Silk Road with Marco Polo. It's going to move me 4. I have 2 time crystals, so I'm actually going to use them both. Oh, by the way, these time crystals at the end of the game are each worth 1 point, so every time you spend a time crystal, you are coughing up 1 point. But I'm going to spend it and just move 2. 1, 2. And then I'll take my benefits as 1 blue.
Blue, 2 red, and a wild.
Yep. Not bad.
That is pretty juicy.
So I'm going to use the red, and the blue here. And now I'm going to take a quick look what the yellow situation is out here.
There's a yellow here.
I could take that yellow eventually. There looks to be about even quantity. So I'm going to go ahead and take the yellow and count on getting a red somewhere. But that's my turn. So now we refill.
Shuffle.
Slide things down. And now it is your turn. And if you take a 1, you'll be taking another turn. I'm not trying to sell you on this card.
I know. It's such a jump, though.
It is a big jump, and there's still no cards beyond it.
Shoot. Yeah, this one's older. So I can't take that one. Can't take that one. So I really am just looking at these 3 choices.
Or 1,300.
Yeah, or 1,300.
Yeah, taking off the top of the stack is fine, but there's no benefit associated with that space. So that's the kind of the rub.
One of those.
You're getting a little extra from these others.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead, weighing my options. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this, even though this one's a little bit older, just because there's so much here.
Yeah.
I don't have any time crystals to mitigate my move anyway, so I might as well go for and get all of this stuff.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock board.
Sail the globe with Magellan. Okay, so then I'm going to get...
But you get a lot.
I do get a lot. So I'm going to get a yellow, a red, a green, and a wild. So let's...
How are you going to place these?
I know. Well, I mean, 3 of them I don't have a choice.
That's true.
So I'm going to do that. Ooh, I might go ahead and take a crystal.
Oh, that's not a bad play.
I
Although you don't need to get the green down for the 13 points.
True, but I could just... I could get 2 points and then be on my way.
I think those are your choices. A crystal or 2 points.
I know. This year is going to be over quickly. I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 points. So
as you cover up the points on your itinerary, you're going to go ahead and score those points on here. At the end of the game, you're going to score points for your time crystals as well as the treks that you've collected.
All right, I'm going to scooch these down.
And we still haven't broken our treks, which is a good thing. No one wants to do that. You just naturally want to keep it going. So I've got 1271 here. I need something beyond that. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 cards out there that qualify.
This one doesn't.
No, but that one does.
Oh, that one does. Yeah, you're right. That's a big jump, though.
That is a big jump to 1891. Although that is a pretty big card. And I'm quite a ways behind you.
And
so I could take a 2. I don't have any time crystals.
Yeah, you could take a 2 and still go again. You could take a 3 and still go again because you'd be on top of me.
I want a red. So I am going to take
that sounds solid.
1,300.
Okay.
Which is carve giant heads on Easter Island. I have to move forward 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now, we're sharing a spot right now, but whoever's on top is going to still be going. So they're effectively still in last place.
What's your benefits?
My benefits were a red and a blue.
Yep.
So I've got this red. And this blue, the blue covers up a time crystal.
Boo.
And I've unlocked these 8 points
Nice,
there.
baby.
All right. That feels very satisfying. I have to say, it is really fun trying to fill up this itinerary.
All right. Go again.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Stinker.
Okay, 1,300. Oh, all these BCE cards coming out that are... I mean, here's the other thing. These BCE cards come out, and you got to wonder, do I go ahead and shut down this trek in the interest of starting one that can go a lot further? Because you're not going to have 2 or 3 treks that are 10 cards each at the end of the game.
Excuse you, sir. Well, I had an 8 and I had a 10.
Well, that's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. But it is tricky. You're either going to have more treks with fewer points each, or a couple treks with big points. But I think the couple treks with big points is the better route to go.
Totally. I won, so spoiler alert.
She did win. Not this one yet, though. This one's still on the table.
I don't know. You're doing pretty well.
I am going to go ahead. Well, I'm going to take the oldest one I can. I'm taking 1762. Plus, very cool card. It's about the Earl of Sandwich. Take a bite of the first sandwich. The 1762. Plus, he's holding playing cards. How can you not take this one?
I know.
Plus, it only moves me 2.
Let's settle a debate, though. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah.
Discuss.
Answer in the comments below. We had this conversation the other day. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Go. So I'm going to move this 2, 1, 2. Now, I'm getting close to ending my day, but I'm not quite there yet. And my benefits are a green and a blue, please.
All right. Ooh, dang. You're going to get 2 more points.
Oh, the blue is pointless.
Pointless.
So I took a blue, even though I had no more spaces for it. But I did get 2 more points, so that's a shame. But such is life. And now you've got at least a turn,
so,
if not more.
Oh, gosh. I have no crystals to speak of.
What kind of... Oh, another BC. Ooh, the BCEs are plentiful right now.
Oh, which is garbage right now.
So you've got, really, these 2 if you want to keep your trek going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have crystal, you don't have crystals.
I will if I take this, because then I can take this.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take this.
What is that one called?
This one is called Command a Huge Pirate Fleet with Shang Yi Sao.
Oh. And it's only 1, so she's only going to just move 1 here.
Yep, and I got a crystal and a red, which I need.
That's nice.
And it's going to get me another crystal, because I covered that
Not
space.
bad. So there's a little combo action going on here.
Little juicy.
So add that to your trek.
I'm going to put that little bad boy down.
And we move everything down.
Uh-huh. Scoot your boots. Ooh.
Oh, whoa.
Come on now.
Yeah, I wonder. Now, remember, we can always take that Visit Your Ancestors card, too, if you want to keep things going.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't I take this?
That's true. No, that's...
Super juicy.
Oh, and you could actually
I would
keep going
be
after that.
Just 1 ahead of you.
And one thing I want to point out before we get to the end of day 1 here is you can see at the top of the clock here, it says punctuality, 3 points. You can go beyond this. So she could right now from here take a 4 or a 5 and go 1, 2, 3, and then she would normally go past it, but you always stop at 12 o'clock. If you stop there exactly, so for instance, if she took one that was a 3 and went 1, 2, 3 exactly, she's going to get a bonus 3 points for being punctual. But it's up to you. Oh, no. You could use your crystals, stop short, and then just go crazy and get another card.
Right. Let's see what to do. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this guy because he is super juicy.
That is big.
And
are you going to spend the crystals?
I think I will spend... I got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be 5. It's a 7-pointer.
If you spend 1, you're punctual. If you spend 2, you get another card.
I'll be behind you and I get to go again. I think I will go ahead and just spend the 2 and I will go ahead and take another card.
Well, you won't get it right now. Yeah,
I understand.
1, 2.
Yep. And so I will go ahead and place this. So I'm going to get 2 yellow, a red, and a wild.
Wow.
2 yellow, a red, which is going to be nothing, and a wild.
Oh, you're in pretty good shape.
That's not too
Oh, yeah,
bad.
you've got the blue now.
I've got...
I assume you're going to use it for that.
Sure. I got this. I get 3 points for covering that. So I got 5 here. And then I will use that to get another 13 points.
Boom. So you're at 18.
So I got 10 and 3 is 18.
Some big moves. Big moves.
Not too shabby. So let's scooch
Now
these
I'm
down.
behind, so I get at least one more turn, maybe two, because I could use a crystal on one of those 2 cards.
If you wanted to start a new track.
Oh, I am going to have to start a new track unless I take an ancestor card.
Totally, because otherwise...
This is 4 cards, which is going to get me 4 points at the end. You know what? That 120 BC, that 12,000 BCE is pretty appealing.
Considering all of the BCE out there, yeah.
Plus, it's going to get me 2 points.
And you're going to get a red
and
and a yellow.
I could go again.
Yep, you're going to get a red and a yellow here. Yep, you would be able to go again.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to collapse my trek. So I'm going to bank this trek of 4 cards, knowing that at the end of the game, that trek will get me 4 points. And I'll start a new trek by taking this.
And spend a crystal?
I am going to spend a crystal.
Okay.
So that it only moves 1. And I'm going to be able to go again. And I get a yellow and a red.
Here's that.
Oh, if I can fill out my card, I'm going to be very happy.
And you get 2 points?
2 points for the covering up this 2 on my yellow.
Got it. You're going to need 3.
I do. I need a red, a
on.
yellow, and a green. Well, let's see what comes up here. Well, I'm definitely not taking 1690. And this is the best card time-wise, too.
Yeah, that's the next oldest.
Alrighty.
Perfect.
So I'm going to take this. I don't have any crystals left, so I'm not going to be punctual.
No.
So this one, by the way, that last one I took was Hunt Bison with Anlatol. And this one is Drink Hot Chocolate with the Mayans. I also didn't know, I'm assuming hot chocolate was invented by the Mayans 5,000 years ago. That's the more you know, right? So it's going to move 4 ahead on the clock, but it only can go 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. I'm not punctual, but my day is end.
Yellow.
Ended.
Wild. Oh, you're going to get 14 points.
So I'm going to take the green, the yellow, and the red. Covering up that red one gets me 4, and then getting everything on the bottom gives me another 10.
That is sweet, baby.
That was probably the best day of this game I've played thus far.
It's pretty good, pretty good.
But you have one more turn.
I do.
And just so you know, too, days 2 and 3, which you won't see on camera, they have obviously a mix of cards. They don't all sort of move forward. So there's always some really, really old ones and some really, really new ones. I think the newest one I've seen is like 1990 something.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything in the 2000s, but we haven't seen many of the cards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm either starting a new trek or I'm taking an ancestor card.
Oh.
Because these are all older.
1891. I mean, we had seen a lot of 1900s cards.
Yeah, because after this day, this goes away, and then we're gonna get a whole new stack for a new day, so the tides could shift big time, and David will maybe be stuck with a bunch of 1900 cards, and he's gonna have to make a giant leap in time.
That's true.
None of these BCEs are gonna be there anymore.
Also, what you can't see on camera is the top card of the second stack, which we've shuffled all the stacks, is 1893. Which is right past 1891, so that wouldn't be a bad one to take an ancestor card on.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's gaming the game a little bit, but...
It is gaming the game a little bit.
Sounds like a plan,
but
so...
you are supposed to shuffle those decks up, and they are supposed to be right next to the board.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take an ancestor card, which is going to give me a wild.
Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
But you get crystal out of it anyway.
I will take a crystal, because why not? I am crystal poor, so I'm going to put it in my crystal bank.
It's a point and/or flexibility on your next turn.
Yeah, 100%.
So so that the ancestor cards always move you 3 forward. So she's gonna go. She's not punctual.
I'm not
just
punctual.
like me. We're both late for everything. But that is the end of day 1. So what's gonna happen before the end of the game is we're gonna clear this off. We're gonna bring out deck 2. We're going to finish these. We're basically gonna put all these tokens, experience tokens, back. Remove these itineraries. Each of us is going to get a new itinerary. The trek that we currently have in front of us is going to stay there because we can build onto that. And then we just keep going day 2, day 3, and then end of game. And then we'll come back after everything and share with you what the entire experience was like. All right, welcome back. We have played the entire game. We played day 2. We played day 3. We finished things out. And if you can tell by the sound of my voice and the smile on her face.
I won!
Elisha won 86 to 78. Now, just to give you a quick idea of how long this took us, day 2
Flew by.
lightning fast.
Yeah.
As well as I did on my first card, which I completely filled out. Day 2 was by no means anything like that. Like I was all the way around the clock, and I felt like I had done nothing. Nor had I really built a great trek. And it all had to do with my choices of the cards I took and the cards that were coming out. I ended up with 4 treks total. One that was 4 cards, one that was 5, another one that was 4, and then one that was 3. So I had 4 treks that were all pretty small, but at least they were positive points. You had how many?
I only had 3 treks, so I always try to go for the longer treks. I feel like that's the winning strategy. So I had an 8. I had a little baby one for 3 because I had to abandon this because of the card situation. And then I finished off with a 7, so that ended up netting me quite a few points.
Yeah, the 7 and the 8 treks are 15 and 18 points respectively, where all of mine, my biggest one was 7, and then I had 2 4s and a 2. So that was nothing, but what I had done was I'd supplemented those points throughout the game with, as well as I did on that first card. Also, this third card I did pretty well on.
Yeah,
it was only the second card that I didn't do too great on. I think I got 7 plus or minus some points there.
Yeah, you get a lot of satisfaction filling out your itinerary, whereas I like to create a big trek.
I do like that, though. In the last game we played, I had gotten at least 1 trek that was 10, which is very satisfying when you can get all 30 points.
Correct.
But if you do that, you're likely only going to have maybe 2 treks.
Yeah,
maybe
that's what
3,
I did.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, the last game I played, it was a 10 and an 8.
Yeah, that's right.
Those were the only 2 tracks I made, and I still won then too, so I stick with that strategy.
And it was interesting too, as we were playing, like we did in the camera, we did read some of the backs of some of the other cards. It is kind of interesting, and I don't usually take this away from a lot of my games that I play, but reading the backs of these is so short in many cases. And there is some interesting facts that I didn't know, like that Cleopatra one. I had no idea the details about that, but it was really interesting. It is also overall very fast. So not only was the second round fast, but we played this entire game, including what we did, explaining it and whatnot, in less than an hour, I think. With 2 players, I think 2 experienced players, you can get this down to probably a half hour. The box says 30 minutes to 60 minutes. I think if everyone knows what they're doing, it's definitely going to be within that range.
You're going to fly right through.
It's a very fast game, and like you said, it's very satisfying to build those treks, to sort of like that set collection of building that trek with the cards. But I have to say, this is very satisfying, collecting those experience points and putting them on this board. Basically when you're filling out a board of these itineraries like this and collecting the points from it, especially if you get them all, which I nearly got the last one here. I almost got my 3rd board filled, which I hadn't done in previous plays of this game. That's just very satisfying.
Yeah, another thing about this game is the timing with the clock.
Yeah.
Like, we had a hard time managing that without a lot of crystals. I ended up finishing with a couple of crystals, but with the cards that were coming out, they were really juicy, but you were moving forward through time pretty quickly. And I think that's what happened in the second year.
For sure, in the second round.
It was just, we were just going through and we couldn't mitigate it as much as we would have liked to. And getting the punctuality was really tough. And I was the only one who ended up pulling that out.
On the last round.
On the very last turn that I took of the very last round, I was able to get punctuality because I was debating on taking this card or an ancestry for points. And I was like, well, I can take this and get a wild and get 4 points here, or I can go ahead and take this, get a crystal, which is going to net me a point, plus get punctuality, which is still 3 points. So I was netting the same amount of points.
And she wanted to be punctual at least once during the game.
Just once during the whole game, because I feel like the last game we were punctual pretty often. In this game, that was not the case.
It depends on where you are. So if you're close to the end of the day and you're looking at a trek and you're thinking, okay, do I want to get a couple extra cards out of the trek? Because you could be right here, and if you have enough crystals, you could take a card and just move one, and then know that you could not be punctual and take any card as long as it was within your trek.
And if you're making a big jump on your trek points, it might be worth it to, do away with punctuality just so that you can take another card.
Well, not to mention, this is what happened to me. The reason I wasn't punctual is because those moments made it so that I could just take a card and get all the experience tokens I needed to sort of fill out those boards as much as I just wish I'd been able to do that in that second day. That was pretty rough. But yeah, you ended with 2 crystals. Yep. I had spent all my crystals. I don't know.
But that's because you filled out your board.
Yeah.
You paused as much as you could so you can get more.
And then it was kind of, I wish I'd had at least one trek that was a little bigger because it is really satisfying.
Probably would have won you.
And you do want to get 10. Like if you get more than 10, I would say it's generally best to sort of
start a new trek.
Ditch that because
it's not worth it.
You're only getting an extra 3 cards for the 11th, 12th, and so on. So you might as well ditch after the 10. And honestly, if you get 10 cards,
you're doing okay.
That's an accomplishment in and of itself. But overall, I lost again. Elisha got 86. I got 78. And that was our trek through history here. And again, we didn't even see, a lot of cards in each day. There was, at least this many cards, at least, that we didn't see.
So seemingly the 1990s are about the latest we'll see in this game.
Yeah, we haven't seen, there's 1994.
Right.
And I believe that might be the latest card that I had seen. In our last trek here, you got a 1990.
Yeah.
And I was at 1925 at this point. But we were able to keep them pretty low. The BCEs came out kind of at the wrong time one time, and then they came out, the other cards came out at the wrong time another time. We had all these BCEs, but we were both up in the 1900s.
Right.
So we had to ditch our treks. But anyway, that is trekking through history. Hopefully you've gotten an idea of how it's played and all the different things you're going to be doing in the game. If you have any questions at all, though, please make them in the comments below, and we'll try to answer what we can. And until next time, make sure everyone's having fun at the table, and we'll see you then. Congratulations, you got to the end of one of our videos. Now, if you want more practice, just click on the video over here. It's another video. You might not have seen it yet, so click on it. If you don't want to do that, at least click on the subscription button below. That always helps us. And if you want notifications, please ring that bell.